When it comes to our empowerment, a direct way to really experience that is by acknowledging our abilities. Now, for us as HSPs, acknowledging our abilities can sometimes feel a little bit out of reach because we're not quite sure what they are. You have an amazing ability to facilitate. Often what I come across in my practice of training HSPs to reveal their gifts, come into purpose, and come into service in alignment with the truth of who they are is often an area around feeling such a despondency and a willingness to want to do something about the world, wanting to help, wanting to make a difference, feeling frustrated and often quite scared about the current circumstances in the world and feeling powerless to know what to do about that. Well, the good news is that you have a hidden talent. You actually have an ability to be able to facilitate in an area of life or in the area of life that actually really matters to you. So we have an advantage when it comes to figuring out what this area is that we can actually start to make a difference in. And that makes things more manageable. So rather than listening to the media and looking at the top level leadership in the world thinking, well, what am I ever going to do about that? Unless you are designed to operate at that level, then it can sometimes feel a little bit disconcerting to think, well, how am I going to make a difference? And that is really key to recognize that you can make a difference and that the difference that you can make is contributing to the greater picture, to the greater context. And that is about understanding your ability to facilitate. It's understanding your ability to be able to read people, circumstances, and the room around you in a very particular way that allows you to receive the information that you need to begin to make a change and make a difference in a way that is in alignment with how you're perceiving and how your depth of perception works. So often what happens when I am training and facilitating HSPs to understand the power of their ability and their gift is that they have this suspicion or this awareness that there is something quite powerful happening within them, yet they never know how to talk about it and are very unsure about the value of that ability. And if you're feeling the same, let me reassure you that we all start there, myself included. This is an invitation to recognize that there is a way in which you can start to learn how to use your facilitation ability to be able to discern the key information points. So let me give you an example of that. So let's say that you are sitting in front of someone. It might be a stranger, which often happens for us as HSPs. They come to us for advice. That happens a lot. Or it may be with a friend or maybe a colleague at work. What I would love for you to notice is that you're actually able to read a much deeper level of information about the person in front of you than they're currently revealing. And the reason for that is because you have a natural ability at reading micro expressions, tone of voice, and feeling into the energetic nature and truth of the person in front of you. And truth here is really, really important. Truth has a resonance and a frequency and a feeling that you can actually pick up on. So sometimes when you're talking to a friend or talking to a family member, sometimes that's a bit a bit of a gray area because we're emotionally invested in those people. So it's important to be aware of that. But what's happening is when someone is speaking to you, the depth to which that you're reading them and picking up on the information that they're giving to you allows you to be able to facilitate an alignment with what really matters in that conversation. And where this gets exciting is when you allow yourself to realize that there's a very particular area of life that you're actually really intrigued by and an imbalance that you really want to support and help. So let's say that you've had enough of the lies that are being told in the world and how people are within jobs and working for organizations that doesn't really align with their passion, with their purpose. And you feel called to want to help people to really align with their truth, align with their purpose and their potential, so they can start to make a difference in the world and they're not caught up in the rat race. Well, there's a very interesting opportunity. So as an example of this, what's going to be happening is when you're talking to someone, you're going to be able to feel the difference between the story that they're telling. In other words, the way in which they're convinced that they have to be in this job for security because their parents told them to, whatever it may be. And you can actually sense and feel where this person's passion and potential lies. And that ability will be revealed to you by what you're feeling as they're speaking. And this is something that I really encourage you to dive into and to explore. Those intuitive senses, the questions that comes to you, and the feelings that you're getting are your ability to facilitate. And this is what I have seen over the last 8 years of the 350 HSPs that I've trained. This ability is real. It's very powerful and it changes lives. You have this ability too. And I hope very much that listening to this encourages you to become more aware of what you're seeing when you're in conversation, to notice what you're sensing, to notice what's coming to you intuitively, to notice what you're feeling, and to recognize that you have an ability to feel what's real and what isn't real in another person. This is how you can help. This is how you can make a difference. This is how you can contribute to helping the world coming back into a truth and alignment and peace and balance. If you're serious about taking this work further and you would like support in really understanding how your gift works, and you're interested in getting the training that you need to really take your facilitation ability to the next level, then book a call. It will be my absolute pleasure to speak to you about how your gift works, what your interests are, your calling. Maybe you want to turn that into a business. Maybe you're coming out of an existing company and you're looking to go self-employed as a facilitator or as a consultant. Let me tell you, as an HSP, that is a great part. There is enormous value in your life experience and how you facilitate at this high sensory level. In the description below, there's the link to book the call. I would love to be able to reassure you and help you to see just how gifted you are already and how you can really begin to develop this ability for your own benefit and the people that you really want to support and the change that you want to make at the bigger level. Thanks for watching. See you next time.